Okay.
So, first opinions of, number one.
I had a high opinion. I'll start it with that. I was pleasantly impressed, or well, I don't know if that's the right wording, but I was impressed with candidate number one.
My thoughts. Candidate number one. It seemed to also make an impression on me, to be honest. As far as his knowledge of certain things that would transform
Right.
into this position, even though he even realized too that he would need extensive training to help get him up to speed on all that stuff.
Which is almost a gimme with
I think that we're gonna have.
For everyone.
That's throughout all candidates.
Yeah,
Yeah,
At this
exactly.
point.
I think that's true.
Mhm.
As far as a negative, I can't really think of any particular one thing that would stick out to me.
I don't think I have a negative, but the pay scale was the highest, basically, on that one. And with all the training that is needed.
Yeah, but again, that was from his previous jobs.
Correct.
And too.
Just.
He's
losing it.
The one thing that I kind of get stuck in my mind, Bill, when we interview these candidates, whatever position it's gonna be, you wanna try and hire somebody that's gonna be here long term. And maybe number one, I kind of felt, yeah, if he got started here, but then another opportunity arose to where he could get back into some of this stuff that he was suited for too previously, he would probably leave.
I agree to a certain extent with that, but I also like that he was, he's in the community. Or I mean,
He's close.
you know what I'm saying? He's not, like you say, he's been in where he's at for 15 years. Yeah, he might have been in different capacity, but I mean, like,
Well,
this might be, in my opinion, he might be to the stage where I don't want to be looking for.
Well, I would agree with that, since he's had 4 things jammed up in the last 7 years.
Right.
Right.
But flip side of it is, he does have his MBA,
Right.
so he is,
Right.
in some aspects,
Very, very.
very overqualified for
For
the
this
basic job.
position.
That's my opinion on it. This individual, impressed me, but. Like I said, he's much overqualified, and I don't know that this individual, would fit in with some of the people in town. Because of his knowledge. This individual knowledge, I don't know, I just, looking at this, it looks like this individual stepping down. From where he's been.
Yeah, it's not a lateral move, but
No.
it's,
This individual going backwards, for some reason. It may be legitimate, but I didn't see that. The individual point that out to me.
Maybe tired of the stress that he's having to go through with managing grants. Is that?
well, and
Well, but
like he
in-
said
In
too,
this position.
he might be looking for something a little bit more secure.
Right.
Like with the USDA, like he's saying, laying off, nationwide 6,000 people and, the job, I mean, it could be one of them where it's like, hey, I wanna get into something that's secure.
I kind of got that by his first.
I did too. I
when
kinda
talked
like-
to him. The grant processes and everything, that he's been involved with all that brings knowledge to this position that we haven't had.
Yeah,
So-
very, very much so.
There's pluses, he has a lot of pluses, but there's just a again, I go back. Is this like, okay, maybe you settle in here, but then another opportunity arises where he was before and it's more of a long-term thing, so he'll up it. And I think what we need to do is get more stabilized and have somebody in here that's gonna be like you were stating, somebody that's gonna be more involved
Yeah, but
and more
to that
for the
point,
community.
you guys had to, when you hired the last one, thought you were doing the exact same thing, but
We
what happened?
thought,
That's what I'm saying, so there is no 100% guarantees on anyone, you know?
No, they're not there.
Right,
Yeah.
that happens. Right, but I'm just saying, yeah, that's what I want too. But us knowing 100% that that's we're gonna get is blue sky, you know,
I'm looking at longevity,
right?
yeah. Especially in a small town.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We actually got really spoiled with Tanya. We had her for 15 years, you know, I mean, that's a long time to be, actually, she quit one time and then actually came back.
right, when I first got on the council, she was not clerk at that time.
No,
Both clerk and the mayor resigned
you know,
that November, and I'd only been on the council like 5 months. And to be honest, I was out of state when that happened. And when I found out, I fell over. I'm like, you kidding me? You know, here I'm just getting my feet wet trying to figure things out. And the mayor and the clerk resigned. But we went through that process of hiring a clerk. And Tanya, after being the clerk here previously, and then she left here to another town. And then she applied here again. And at that time, going through the resumes that we had at that time, it was like, you know, it was more or less like, this is who we need here, because if she is willing to come back here and we could get her back here, it was big to stabilize things with this town, especially after losing the mayor clerk. So, yeah, with her, when we hired her and through the years when I got to work with her, it was big for me. I mean, it just gives you a comfort zone that you know somebody's in this job that has years of experience and knows what they're doing. And it's good to work with people in that sense. And I'm sure you all know that too, because where you work, what you do, it's the same thing. So with that in mind, I look at this too, and I'm like, I'd like to hire somebody in here that's thinking long-term. That's gonna stay here. You know, I mean, not forever, nobody does forever. But it'd be nice to know 5, 6, 10 years from now, still here and involved in the community.
Yeah, with his.
but not too involved.
Wow.
You can't, you're in the city clerk position, you really have to be not too involved. You can't be, because you're gonna tick people off and you know what I'm saying? You can be involved, but you can't be, what's the word I'm looking for? You can't take sides on
Yeah,
stuff.
right, you cannot, well, that's like us.
Right,
You sit here.
neutral.
exactly. That's,
when
yeah,
when
you're basically, the city clerk is basically the informant, but they're not the.
Well, they're the ones that take information.
Yeah.
Distribute information.
Yeah.
They're the ones that, like the financials parts, they're helping the city with the financial parts and stuff. But you're right, I mean, as far as being involved in the community,
Right.
Tanya, she's the one that got the farmer's market going. I mean, she's the one that wanted to get that running and everything else. I mean, that's community involvement.
Right. But that's for the benefit of everyone.
Well, but that was her. That's the way she did things, and that was good. And I think everybody that you would want to have involved in the city government, you would want that kind of sense. So,
Definitely, but I'm just saying, like, of 900 people in this town, if you're gonna take sides on something, you're gonna take,
You don't want to.
You can't do that.
You know,
You can't voice your opinion about something. You can't, I mean, that's where we got lucky, where I think Tanya kept her. She might have said stuff to the city council or the mayor or whatever, but I think the
she
mouth,
kept it in here.
she kept it in here, and we've got to do that with our next hire. And I think, I don't see him having, that being a problem. I don't see, one of these other applicants coming up being a problem like that. I think they're.
No, to be honest, I don't either. But I'm just, in my mind, I'm looking for somebody who's gonna be here for a while. Not somebody you hire and 2 years from now, we're looking at getting another clerk.
Yeah, but
Well, I mean, with his age, I'd say we got about 15 years out of that one. It probably would go smooth.
all right, anything more on the first one, or what are we doing with we're just discussing, right?
Oh,
That's good, number 2.
Surprisingly. More inept than I thought she was with, or not inept. More knowledgeable than originally thought, just from a resume.
She seemed to, be more forward and when she started talking about certain things, she kept going into depth on a lot of stuff. You know, and maybe there's sometimes that's too much.
Yeah, like with, anything with city government, there is a lot of stuff that has to be kept private. You know, I mean, I'm not saying not be transparent with the citizens, and don't think I'm, I think, but there's stuff that we discussed before we discuss it with the citizens, or stuff that goes on behind closed doors that has to be not open to the public until we deem it. You know, I mean, we didn't have just recently, you guys all know, we had a discussion with employee, I had, with that, we couldn't be like out talking to everybody.
That's why we had closed.
Exactly, but I'm just saying,
So that stuff does not.
And there's stuff that, like if there's nuisance complaints or complaints like that, that has to be logged and then brought to council. It
Right.
can't be talked about
Ahead of time.
outside or ahead
Right.
of time and stuff like that as
Right.
well. That's basically what you're
exactly,
getting at.
yeah, I mean, be transparent, but not until we're ready to be transparent.
Can't be an open book.
Right.
Um,
What else did you guys think of the second one? Anybody else comments?
That's one too. I do think that as far as criminal goes and stuff, it would require a little more training. Simply because I don't believe the qualifications bring as much to a clerk's position. That's kind of the thoughts I had.
Her strong suit's the accounting side, everything else is extremely weak.
Yes, and that's kind of what I was reading through this. Before she got here and everything, and I kind of thought, well, I wanted to hear more from her. Of things that would pertain more to the job or possible. Things that would help.
I think the
Yeah, go ahead, quick.
the code side for the building permits and stuff, she would probably excel. Speed that area up, that's what she's gonna do the last basic 20 years.
She has a lot of knowledge in several different areas, but it brings you a master of none though.
Right,
You're correct.
right.
And she's also got the shortest amount of time for the investment we had to put into it. Look at it that way, it's fast.
Well, that's one we.
I mean, we're talking about, it's a big money investment.
It is.
On the city. So,
We're gonna drop.
Well, it's something that was the higher for me. That's something going forward that we're hoping over time, you know,
we see the return.
Yes.
On the,
yes,
because, if we're, I mean, all candidates are gonna need training for this.
Right.
But you also need to look at, for the amount of money the city is gonna have to spend with the public funds to train somebody up, what is the best bang for the taxpayer dollar, which is longevity
exactly.
in this role.
But we all have to remember though, that any decision we make is, we don't have the answer to.
No, absolutely not.
You know what, because I'm sure when Mike and whoever sat on the last one, they thought this was for the next freaking 15 years
Well,
too.
right, cause I mean, take you back a little bit, when we interviewed Shelley. And Shelley sat there and it was like, well, he was coming from, she worked through the airport, is where she worked. But she'd been clerk in all these different communities
Right.
before that. And at that time, she basically stated, you know, this is what she wanted to get back to doing because she really enjoyed being a city clerk.
You gotta remember, anybody that's in an interview is telling you what you wanna hear.
That's correct, that's.
Yeah, I've interviewed so many people that
That's
I thought they
exactly right.
were freaking Fonzie walking through the door, and find out later on it's not that.
Yeah.
So, I mean,
But
just so we all know
but
that
it's hard
we're
to-
trying to make that decision, but we're none of us are know that they're gonna be 100%, this is the right.
Right, but that's something you can't really discern when you're actually talking to somebody. They can state things, and at the time, it's fact for them too. A year later, it changes.
We're gonna drop probably $10,000-15,000 on training, easy. They're $400 an hour for certain individuals.
And if I remember right, we did not have that in the budget for this year because when we did our budget, we did not.
We do not, because we did not visualize
Anticipate.
we'd be in this position.
Correct.
So that's something that we're gonna have to look at too, as far as where the money's gonna come from to get this.
Well, the quote from a fund.
Well, I mean, the budget, listen, we had nothing go wrong, we had $55,000 untouched with no emergencies. Well, we've already had one emergency. But some of that's gonna come out of the sewer budget or stormwater, so it's not quite a big hit, but it's still a huge hit.
So clerk school is the first week in October, just so you have kind of an idea. I signed up for 2 classes and there's like 10 classes. It's 100 and one's 96 and one's 32. So clerk, and that's,
Class,
yeah, so one of the classes that I signed up for was,
is it online?
I don't know if it's online or not, but I think it's in person, but it's legal aspects of minutes and it's an all-day class, the $96 one. The other one that's $32 is writing resolutions and ordinances, and it's from 1 to 3. So,
So basically,
But it's like
they're
2
more like
weeks.
seminars.
yeah,
Yeah.
where they go through it and yeah,
Yep.
but it's through Iowa State.
Mhm.
So it's actually pretty inexpensive it's 2 weeks full of classes,
Mhm.
but some of them were like, about, like proper email etiquette and stuff like that,
Right.
that, most people.
Just,
Excel 101.
Yeah.
it's for the specialists that will need to get with whoever, but it's gonna cost us, $125 an hour plus travel expenses. And we have 2 or 3 of them, it just multiplies.
Mhm.
Well. Again, I think too, right, like we were talking. When we start the training for a person that's hired, hopefully they get up to speed very quick on a lot of things. And I mean, it's gonna take a while, but the shorter that time frame goes, the less money that the city's spending for that extra.
Yeah.
So,
And don't forget that we've got, we do have like access to questioning other city clerks in the area. I mean,
Oh,
the Ely city clerk is super nice. The Shugo one would work. I mean, there's a
Well,
lot
that-
of questions, like, say whoever we hired,
That clerks network
yeah.
that Tanya's always talked about when she was working here,
Mhm.
and Shelley, I know she was using it
Mhm.
extensively.
Right, that's all free too, isn't it?
Yeah, it's all the clerks.
Right, it's basically
A
just like
lot of
a,
them different.
a hand session, they'll help.
Cause
with
it's a
anything.
situation where if you get stuck with something,
Mhm.
Right.
you get on there and you send out a, hey, I'm doing this or
Well, I'm
whatever.
just,
Is there anybody out there who've done this before? Can you help me with this?
Right.
And you usually get a response like that.
Mhm.
yeah, that's what I'm saying, like, all the city clerks in this area are real helpful to each other, I think.
But I think too, there's like Tanya, for instance, I think she's still on that.
All right, anything more on two? From anyone? Opinions or? Accolades or, you know? Yeah. Thoughts on number three?
See,
Like a lot. As a candidate. What I can say.
Candidate number 3, I think, shows the best long-term potential for our city
Mhm.
for, holding the position for hopefully, minimum of a decade. Um,
I like the enthusiasm
Yeah.
and the desire to learn.
mhm.
The only drawback that I can see right now is based on the information we have from this individual is that we may have to discuss the compensation.
Right.
It's the only drawback, and as far as that, to satisfy that.
I love the fact that candidate number three is a community member. I mean, I know that shouldn't be like, that's not the where to all for what we're trying to hire for, but I do like that. That interests me a lot, that, and basically knowing candidate number three personality is an A+. In my opinion, for what, of the three that we, I mean, I'm not saying any of the three were bad at all, personality wise, but I'm just saying it's an A+ for me on that.
I feel along with that.
And my personal opinion is with, especially candidate number 3, able to eliminate a role that we created because the clerk was not able to take on that responsibility. And, then the clerk would be, I don't see a problem adjusting the pay scale to include something that we are already paying somebody to do.
Right, because right now, like, just for instance, and I don't know the other two candidates or whatever, I don't know if they, but say all of a sudden, we hire them for this wage or whatever wage we decide on. And then we still keep a city coordinator position, that's or what's it called?
Communications.
Coordinator or whatever,
Mhm.
that's another part of the thing, where this is, it is combining both of them. I mean, I don't know, I still don't know if we can get to that number, I don't know that, we'd have to know financials, we'd have to know everything.
Candidate 3 is proposing that we
Yeah.
combine those two positions. At this current time, they are two positions.
Right.
So that would be something to where the council in a meeting would have to discuss that, what they want to do with the communications.
That's why I say we need to discuss
It would
that.
have to be on an agenda.
And right now, the way the job was posted, the community coordinator,
Is not included.
is not included, we did not include that in the description, in the job description.
So I
Whether
think-
they could do it or not, they might be able to,
Okay.
but we don't know that.
So for this purpose right now, we're looking at hiring a clerk. And what's been said already is we're talking about the qualifications for clerk, the training that will be involved. And now we brought up salary, what that could be, and how we would discern that part. It may be something to where the starting salary might not be, oh, what I wanna say, it might not be out of the realm of where we advertised it. I mean, we might stretch it a little bit. But, I would think starting out because of the training and trying to get somebody up to speed. The increases that they would get going forward would be maybe substantially more, the more that we
Just,
go along.
just the past history of this, since we're talking wages right now. Past history was when you guys advertised for Shelley's position. You guys not, or whoever was on the city council, I know Mike was at the time, I can't remember if Adam was or not, but. You have to remember, you guys advertised this thing,
Right,
when Shelley would not accept the position. Until it was up to Tanya's pay, which we had,
Yep.
which was with 15 years of experience with this town.
Mhm.
At the last review. Her pay was bumped up 9%. So just know all that. We were not underpaying
right.
by any stretch of the imagination. There's rumors going around this town, they're like, you gotta pay up to get out what we paid up. I'm just saying, we paid up. We did, I mean,
What we
I've done all the studies of the
okay.
salaries and everything else of what it is. I'm just saying that, remember, we paid up twice
If
for
you
that.
do comparable salaries to the clerks on other municipalities in the area and determined on like their experience, how many years they've been on it. The last two clerks we've had, Tanya and Shelley, have had
City clerk experience.
the most experience in this area. And that was the big driving thing behind hiring Shelley at that time. And it was like, you're right, when we advertised just for the salary at that time. She needed to get more to leave what job was that she was at. And at that time, when we discussed that, she wasn't in the room, of course. But what we did is we tried to come up, maybe not as high as she wanted to, but close to it. To try and bring her in here. And a lot of it had to do with the experience that she had. Cause it was like, we lose out on her. The rest of the applicants we had at that time, very little experience there either. And it was like, we'd been in kind of the same type of situation. I mean, I can't remember all the applicants back then, but I do remember going through all the resumes and everything else. It was that one hit, and it was like, holy smokes. You lose football these years. You got another one that has just as many years' experience and knows things hitting the ground running. Plus, she was administrator
Mhm.
in cities prior to this, so she had even more knowledge of things. So, yeah, I agree with you, Kurt, that we did adjust above what we initially advertised to get her in here. But at that time too, again, like I said, there was other things besides the salary. I thought she was gonna be here for a long term. That's obviously not the case. And there's other things, over time, you learn different things as it goes with candidates and stuff.
Well, with this last review, me, Brian and Daryl sat in on it and,
So we're talking salary here now, is that including we pay $900 for insurance a month? Is
That's
that,
not-
That's above,
that's above the offer?
that's above whatever the salary. They get a $900 fee.
so remember, that's, 10,800 a year. On top of the,
But that's in lieu dividing the insurance.
Yeah,
Candidate 1 and candidate 3 to me is. Far and above the best 2 applicants, or best 2, my choices. One, or in my, that's, if we're all. That's who I liked a lot, and that's who, I mean, I like all of them, I mean, I'm just saying. If we're doing a grade scale, rating scale, then.
Yeah, I agree with Kurt on. The relevance for everything we've talked about tonight, with 3 and 1 being probably. More of what we're looking for.
Yes.
There's going to be a large investment in either candidate, but there's gonna be a large investment in all 3 candidates,
Yes.
no matter. what.
Right. That's stated really well.
Yes.
I agree with that also. I think candidate 1 and 3 would. I think both those candidates with the training would excel.
Exactly, I think so too.
And I think it would be in a short period of time.
Especially 1 and 3, yeah, especially. I love the eagerness of number 3. And I have, candidate number 3, I have, more of a warm fuzzy feeling about. The investment that we make is worth it.
Like, number 3 is my first choice, but like I say, we still, can we come up with a compensation that's going, required to have her, that's my issue, you know. Can we
Because we have to
remember,
remember,
we have to do some, see what, you gotta be some give and take, I think, because we just didn't.
right, and the thing about it too, you guys all know this, but you guys all know this decision is the town's decision too. I mean, we're spending the town's money. We're not spending it. This isn't coming out of my pocket. This isn't,
Well,
I mean, we all work for the city. I mean, for the citizens, not,
Like, I've got no problem paying, a higher rate. With the outlooks of not having to do this again in my lifetime.
exactly.
Of course, that might be only a year though, so don't get too excited.
Well, you still got 2 years, 2.5 years left on your term, you can't croak before that.
Speaking of-
I'll bet on it.
Oh, yeah.
once
So
you
I guess-
get
I guess-
out of town,
So I guess my question is, I don't know if there's any give or take on this salary. How do we proceed from here, on the. Pick, if there's any give or take on the salary or what? How do we do that?
If there's give and take on it, it's pretty simple decision for me. It's number 3.
Yeah,
That,
if the, and
But
I don't know.
but
how
I
much-
think,
Right.
what needs to be determined is what we would want to set the salary.
yes,
Cause we gotta make sure
To start.
we've got the money and,
For the starting position, what do we want?
We need to
set
make
our salary?
An offer letter for whatever candidate, obviously, but it needs to have. A starting salary and,
And the $900 stipend,
and then, obviously, they're all gonna need training, but. We can put a review mark on any of these
we can.
to adjust. After,
6
to,
months.
to come up to meet
6 months.
anybody's,
like I say, we gotta have some way, to determine what to.
as a city council and as a mayor, I think we all have to know too, though, that. With the salary that we're presenting. Somebody's not coming in every year and getting a 9% raise.
No, that's,
Yeah, that's out of the question.
That's out of the question. I mean, I'm not saying they won't get a raise. I'm not saying that. A COLA, or, a cost of living and everything else
what we put in the budget in January
is not.
for reviews and raises is not a hard number. I mean, just because you put 9% in there for a position. Mid-year, or not mid-year, but towards the end, when you're doing that review process. that does not mean you give whatever the maximum was that was stated percentage wise.
Well, it wasn't 9% in our budget.
Well, if it was, that's fine. That doesn't mean that's what we award. I mean, you could sit here and you can go through it and say, well, you know, this year, this is what we're gonna do for these raises, and it's gonna be 4% or 5%. But a lot of it has to do on the job that's being done.
Right.
And it's gotta do with, it's just got a lot of.
It's a review is what
Right,
it is.
it's a review of everything.
Right. I mean, it could be 0.
It could be. You
I
know,
mean-
like when I worked, that's the way it was when I worked too. Wherever I went in, got my review. And they looked at your body of work and what you did.
Yeah.
And across the board, this is what they would, what they put in for that position, depending on who they were talking to. And what they did, you got either this, or this.
Mhm.
You know, and if you were down here at this low end, that just told you something, you know, you've got a lot of stuff you better start
Right.
tending to.
And if you're in a position where you're in a contract, it's already stipulated ahead of time, like they're getting 3%, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, so I mean, I'm just saying, when we do the review, that's when we decide what the raise is. It could be from
Right.
0
But we're not in a contract that we gotta.
No, I know that, but I'm just saying, I don't think we get into the precedent of we're having an ultimatum given to us at a review.
No, we're not doing that.
I said, if you get this off dead centers. Why, you know, I guess, I'm in favor of that individual number 3. But what I said before, the individual I think is outstanding, personality, wise, and I think. The individual can handle people fairly well. I guess. You know, maybe we can, you know, deal down, if not. You know, that's. You can talk me into going more. But, you know, I think we need to discuss that and see whether, well, how everybody's in, you know,
Right, where we're at.
yeah,
We gotta figure out where we're at financially wise because we obviously all knew that 20 to 25, we could come up with that.
yeah.
Without, you know, without even a discussion, you know, or whatever, but when we're going more than that, which we are gonna have to, no
Yeah.
matter what.
And I got no problem with that because
That's for all these candidates.
Yeah, exactly,
Like I
right,
say,
That's what I think too.
Yeah.
No matter which one
right,
we look to hire, you're gonna be.
I always say you can pay you can pay a bad one too much and a good one, you don't pay enough.
exactly,
And you gotta keep the good ones.
yeah,
So,
that's why we have reviews though.
so how do we get together and discuss this?
We do it right now. I mean, we're in open
Are we
session.
at that point where we can do that? No.
We're gonna
Well,
discuss.
how's the individual,
How are we gonna know what we can offer though?
Yeah.
Adam, without knowing our financials?
Okay, but again, well,
It is on the agenda for you to take possible action too, so you can do whatever you wanna do during the session.
yeah, you know, I guess. How do we communicate with the individual?
Very easy. We come up with
And see if they'll accept. Is that
a
what you're
rate,
saying?
you know, and say it's X amount of dollars, and then in 9 months, whatever, then it's up for review if we wanna, you know, to do a bump after some of the training is all done and everything else. But we set our offer letter and we give it to the mayor, and the mayor presents that to our candidate, and then the mayor reports back to the council. If it was accepted, or if now it's a negotiation, it's brought
That's
back.
all I know, how do we
It's-
negotiate?
It'll go through the mayor as a negotiation.
What we've done before is we had the discussions just like we are.
Mhm.
And we kind of settled on, this would be the pay, this is what the stipend is. And such, and then the mayor would get on the phone
Mhm.
and call. And talk to that candidate. And tell them this, that we're interested in hiring you. And this is what the council has decided to offer. And then, of course, there might be pushback to the mayor.
Correct.
Well, you know.
But
It's usually a
this-
2,
this
3,
is-
4
this
day
is just a little
process.
bit different than that though, right now, because we've never, I don't think you guys have ever hired an in-house candidate.
That's true.
Then, you know, that's what makes, that's a little bit different, because when the
That's
mayor was on the
correct.
phone, he was calling
Correct,
Joe Schmo and
but we
Norway.
still need to, no matter what, we
Yes.
need to run it just like
Normal.
normal. And
Right.
that's the way it's
Just
gotta
like
go.
what we-
We tonight come up with what our offer is,
Okay.
closed session, and then the mayor presents that,
Right,
and we go back and.
which that would have to be in a closed session.
Yes.
We talk about this.
Yeah.
Okay, how much a raise did we get the last one, right before she gave us the notice?
We got her to.
Huh?
We got her to,
How much was
she wouldn't accept anything
Less
less than 65. Cause she was gonna walk at an offer of 64.5. So, and Brian, you'll agree with that.
Yeah.
That was how it went. Daryl, you'll agree, that's how it went.
Yeah, I thought that's what it was.
So we
That's
figured,
what
so
she
we,
came into a review with.
Yeah.
so this was, so if you do. But you remember, this is an hourly rate.
Right.
So when we went,
I don't think it was like 31 something.
31.25.
Yeah.
31.25?
Yep, that's what, on a 2,080 a year job is. Which is what obviously, if I think we're all in agreement with, candidate 3.
Mhm.
We have to remember that that's, to cover that, you're losing whatever amount of money that you have to pay out right now
But that's,
to a needed coordinator. You're gaining that, is what
You're-
gaining that, is what I'm saying, yes.
the 30, what was it again, 31, 25, that's what she would have got with the raise?
No, that's what she did get.
That's
That's what she did get. So,
Are you sure it wasn't 3170?
I don't know, I just did math.
It's 3170.
Is it?
Mhm.
That's what, okay, what, yeah,
Okay,
That was with what, with the.
but that still puts you at an annual of 65,000,
a little over,
a little over.
Mhm.
And I mean, that's not only candidate 3, that's all candidates who are out there that we have discussed tonight. We're right in that
Right.
ballpark range.
Right,
That's true.
That is a
The
65,000.
lowest was 60.
Correct.
no, the second one did not.
She said 60.
And the other one was 63, I
Yeah.
think, 60.
Yep.
He said he needed to be something comparable to that.
64, 65, yeah, something in there. But
The only thing is, we gave the last one a pretty good raise, that didn't keep her here.
correct.
Yes.
But there was underlying circumstances there too with her husband getting ready to retire, needing more steady insurance.
Yeah.
I
And
think there was something underlying that we didn't know about.
getting closer to home and that kind of stuff.
She's not really close to home, she lives in Marion.
And it's about.
Oh, I thought, I
That's
said
Marion to Acton, Marion to Swisher,
I
it's
mean-
about the same distance.
Yeah,
If-
that's here and there.
My personal opinion would be if we can find the funds
Yes.
with candidate 3 would be to start off basically at that
31.
3170, whatever it is, with the review after training and everything else to eliminate that coordinator job at that time through council, putting it on the city clerk and adjusting pay to match that.
So in the meantime, as far as the
What would you think about,
or as far as the other position away from the city clerk, but the communications job, how would you work with that? Hire somebody else in to do that?
no. Not
Okay.
for what, no, what I'm
just saying, now you're saying, well, okay,
what I'm pretty, what would you guys feel about? Paying what you guys came up with, whatever that number was.
Mhm.
Keeping the coordinator position until. we're no longer doing the training, spending out the training dollars and everything, and then combining it into one and seeing what seeing what their raise would be for, you know, give them the raise for that, or,
Well, that would instantly be that number, what I
Right.
proposed, yeah, I mean, you could.
I mean, just until, and then basically that position goes away.
Yeah, cause that would
It's being
take,
done by one, and it's. Because honestly, and I'm not candidate number three, I'm just saying, for the time being, right now, there is gonna be a lot of training for a couple months or whatever, to get up to speed with everything,
Mhm.
you know, with any of the candidates.
Oh, absolutely, all
Right.
three of them.
So I'm just saying that maybe that would be stipend that they don't give that up right away. Until. It's I'm hell bent that number three candidate is our best option,
So
but
you were looking at starting at how much,
The 31.
3170.
that was what, 65?
Yes.
you got a little
Little,
65 and
just
some
over.
change. I don't know where she.
The offer would be basically hourly rate, 31.70 for doing clerk's duties. And be under training for, I mean, I'm not even sure as far as how long my training will go. If it's
I
2
think-
months, 3 months, 6 months, whatever it is.
I think it's gonna go in waves over a period of time, probably a year or two. Cause you're gonna have certain areas you're gonna be strong on at first.
Well, there's different things come up to the city over time.
I mean, granted, the upfront cost for the first 4 to 6 months will probably be the hardest hit. After then, it'll be a day here, a day there, trying to learn specialized areas. Maybe more than a day.
Okay. So the actual offer, I'm just getting at what the actual offer will be is 31.70 per hour. Plus a $900 student. So that's kind of what's gonna be on. Same vacation time, same,
Yes.
all that stuff.
Definitely keeping, it's by keeping it in-house, you definitely keep her,
Plus you would put in her year, or 2 years of service.
Yes,
yeah,
started with the original,
keeps her seniority,
Yes.
basically.
the seniority key.
So
This-
what
this
is it
is
after,
candidate.
so what do they get now after 2 years? Is it 3 weeks, or is it 1 week, or what is it? 'Cause they're gonna need to know all of that.
I mean, not know what the handbook says.
Yeah, let me grab it.
Easy way.
This is freaking science, this is driving freaking nuts. Yeah, but it's seasonal. Oh, for the last couple of days.
That stuff drains into my throat and I can't get it out. Just
I
tickles
took
the
my
throat.
dog out for a walk tonight after he, and he's, of course, you know. He, and sniffing, comes in and starts sneezing all over me.
So you're talking about retaining the, other job?
Yeah.
That comes with an individual wants in the first
Correct.
place.
Correct, it does.
So it's 10 days after 1 full year, 15 days after 5 full years,
Okay.
and 20 days after 10 full years.
Okay.
That comes the same thing that the individual's asking for, so.
Yeah. Exactly.
I got no problem.
And we just, at a future time, when
Yeah.
we deem that, you know, training is wrapping down, it comes back to council and we eliminate that role and roll that role into the clerk at that adjusted rate
Yeah,
with those responsibilities added and.
But with, you know, based on the enthusiasm last, which I think it will. Cause you know, that's, I like, you know, I like, you know, take a look at it, and that individual needs to know that we're gonna look at that, make sure that the. You know, the learning and the enthusiasm last, which I think is.
You ready to make the call, Brian?
So do we need to make a motion for this, I would assume?
Oh, comment.
I don't think you need to do that.
Okay.
Really? I thought you had to do that, don't you?
I don't think you need a motion to do that.
Not to offer, no.
No, but that is,
I mean, he might make the offer and she might refuse.
yeah, it's possible, so let's, if council's in agreement.
Are we in agreement right here, though?
Yeah.
No, with all that, but okay. Are we in agreement if, is candidate number one the second choice?
Yes.
Okay,
I am.
Oh, yeah.
okay. Brian, are you in agreement with that?
Yeah.
Well, you're outnumbered anyway, 4-1, so.
I don't have a vote anyway. That's right, cause if.
Well, I just wanted your opinion, I mean, I know
If
you,
candidate 3 declines, then we may,
that's what I'm saying, that, we gotta know where we're going from the second.
that's true.
Correct.
Do you want me to pause this recording so we can talk?
Okay. Motion to adjourn.
Yes, please.
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
In favor?
Aye.
Yay, it's officially 8:51.
So we got a meeting Monday.
Make sure you got us knocked down for a meeting.
Oh.